Welcome to Op Manager Plus training. Today, let us talk about how the IP addresses of your organization and the switch ports of all the switches in your organization is been performing. Let's see a network device. Say that is a switch. On the same summary screen of the switch, we have seen about the interfaces, the net flow traffic details, the NCM details, and much more. So now let's talk about how the switch ports are being utilized, how the switch ports are connected to each other. So we would be able to see them all in one single place. So you get to understand how these switches are. So to know more about, get into the network IP management, where we will be able to see the usage of the subnets and the usage of the switch ports as well. Let's talk about a particular subnet usage. Say 192.168.138.0. So on this subnet, we would be able to identify what are the IP addresses, the MAC address is connected to that IP address, the IP address to the DNS and DNS to IP resolution. If the forward and the reverse lookup is success, you will be able to get this information on how these IP addresses are connected to what device. And you will also be able to understand on the type of the device, the switch which is connected to, and the port at which that switch is connected to. You would be able to get the history of the IP address usage, and you can get the alerts on the subnet usage. To know about the switch ports, get into the switch port mapper, click on the respective switch ports, and you will be able to see what are the ports listed down, what are the MAC address connected to that switch port, which IP is connected on this particular port number of the switch, what vendor it is. If that does have a connected DNS address, we get to have the DNS entries of that particular port as well. So you get to see the view of the ports, and you can drill down to see whether that's connected or not, and the history of the port usage as well. So by this, that would be very tightly blended, where you will be able to know which IP address is connected to which port of the switch and what is the information of the IP address holds, like the MAC address, the DNS, and much more. So you want to search for an IP, and that is possible to understand where it is connected to. Or on the vice versa, you wanted to know this particular switch port is connected to which IP address and what type of device it is. You can get that through the switch port mapper as well. So both are tightly blended. You also have a feature called rogue detection, where any new MAC addresses being identified after each and every scan will be discovered as a rogue detection model, will be discovered as rogues under this detection section. As an administrator, if you feel that this particular device is a trusted in your organization, you can map them as trusted, or if that seems to be a guest MAC address connected for some time, you can connect as guest. Or if you feel that that is nowhere related to your organization, you can mark them as rogue, and you can block that respective switch port with the help of SNMP community as well. Now, let us see how to get these IP subnets and switch ports being updated on the usage. So for that, we will have to make sure you scan those subnets and switches very often. On these, you can click on scan, and you can just scan the respective subnets for this. Scan the subnets for their usage, or we would be able to go ahead and then get into the op-util settings, and you can get into IP address manager and schedule the subnet scans. So you can create a new task and then provide a name. Say I wanted to do a daily scan on the subnets. So select all the subnets which needs to be scanned. and say I wanted to scan them every day at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So you can create a daily scan for the same. Same way, we can go ahead and then do a schedule for the switchboard scans as well from the switchboard scan scheduler. You can create another task for switches to be scanned. So here, this is one of the very important points you will have to look after when you work with op utils. So here is the tab where you get to see all the router information, where you will have to add all these routers, layer 3 devices, network gateways, printers, all other layer 2, layer 3 devices right here, so that this op utils can connect to all of these devices using its ARP and its memory information and try to map the MAC address and the device details and show them in the op utils. So that is what it can do for you. So make sure once you initiate the scans, make sure you add all the possible network devices in this router section. So here in the IP address manager, you can enable the display connected switch port details so that all the MAC addresses learned with the switch port can be seen right here. And you would also be able to see the switch ports to see all the interfaces, because it depends on the response we receive from the bridge map. So there are cases where at the time of the switch is being scanned, you may have to see only very few switch ports there, but in real time there may be even more switch ports on that. So at that point of time, enable the all interfaces option right here so that it can also talk to the other possible methods and gain much more information on the ports which is connected to. So make sure these are something which you will have to enable. So that simple is op utils for you. Maybe